The air smelled of salt and fried churros as the waves crashed gently against the wooden legs of the Santa Monica Pier. Families laughed, children tugged their parents toward cotton candy stands, and couples strolled hand in hand. Amid the chaos of joy and noise, a single figure moved slowly along the pier, Emma. Emma was 16 years old, and unlike most of the teenagers around her, she carried the weight of the world on her shoulders. Polio had left her with weak legs and a permanent limp. A set of crutches held her steady, though every step looked like a battle between determination and exhaustion. Yet Emma's spirit was not broken. She adored the ocean, the seagulls that circled above, and the feeling of fresh wind on her face. For her, walking here was freedom. But freedom can be fragile when cruelty lurks nearby. A group of teenagers leaned against the railings, laughing loudly. They were local kids, 3 boys and a girl, who carried themselves with the kind of arrogance that feeds off weakness. Their leader, a tall boy named Ryan, spotted Emma making her slow way past. His grin twisted into something sharp.
"Move, Cripple,"
he sneered, his voice carrying over the sound of the waves. Emma froze. She tried to ignore it, tried to push past, but before she could, another boy kicked at her crutch. The wood jolted, and Emma stumbled forward, crashing to the pier with a painful thud. Her palms scraped against the rough boards, tears springing to her eyes, not just from the pain, but from the humiliation of laughter echoing around her. The bullies didn't stop. They circled, mocking her. "Want me to fix your legs?" one taunted.
"Better crawl. It's faster,"
another added. People noticed. Some slowed, some frowned, but no one intervened. The world, it seemed, had decided to look the other way. Emma lay there shaking. For a moment, she thought maybe she should just stay down. Maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe she didn't belong here after all. But then, something shifted. The low rumble of engines rolled across the pier. At first, it was distant like thunder over the horizon. Then it grew louder. Heads turned. One by one, motorcycles pulled up along the pier, their chrome glinting in the California sun. There weren't 2 or 3. There were dozens. A sea of leather jackets, tattoos, and helmets with dark visors. The bullies froze, their laughter choking into silence. The bikers dismounted, boots heavy on the wooden boards. Their leader, a broad man with a long gray beard and eyes sharp as steel, stepped forward. He crouched beside Emma, his huge hand surprisingly gentle as he helped her to her feet. "You okay, sweetheart?" he asked softly. Emma nodded, though her voice trembled.
"Why, yeah."
"I think so." The man turned, his face hardening as he glared at the teenagers. "You think you're tough. Picking on a girl who can't fight back." Ryan stuttered. "We were just joking." The man straightened, towering over them. "Then let me tell you a joke. How about 50 bikers who don't find bullies funny?" The rest of the bikers spread out, surrounding the group. They didn't touch them. They didn't threaten violence. They simply stood there, a wall of strength, protection, and silent judgment. The crowd that had been too afraid to act earlier began to cheer. Phones came out. The bullies shrank under the weight of hundreds of eyes. For the first time, Emma felt safe. But that wasn't the end of her story. Emma still had challenges ahead. That night, even after the bullies had run off and the bikers had escorted her home, she cried. Not because of the pain in her knees, but because cruelty had pierced so deep. She wondered if she'd ever be seen as more than the cripple. It was the bikers who changed that. They returned the next day. The leader introduced himself as Bear, president of a local motorcycle club. He told her their motto, "Protect the ones who can't protect themselves." Over the weeks, the bikers kept visiting. They taught Emma how to ride in the safest way possible, strapping her carefully onto a trike so she could feel the rush of wind without risking her fragile legs. They became her guardians, her friends, her family. Emma faced setbacks, of course. School was still hard. The whispers didn't stop overnight. Sometimes she woke up dreading the day ahead. But now she had a network of people who believed in her. Every time someone tried to push her down, she remembered the roar of those engines, the circle of protection, the truth that she wasn't alone. Months later, the same bullies tried to mock her again in town. But this time, Emma didn't look away. She raised her chin, her voice steady. "You don't scare me anymore. Weakness isn't in my legs. It's in your hearts." The crowd applauded. The bullies fled, Humiliated by their own cruelty, years passed. Emma grew stronger, not just in body but in spirit. She began speaking publicly about kindness, resilience, and courage. She told her story not to shame her bullies, but to remind the world that a single act of cruelty can break someone, or it can spark a fire that burns for a lifetime. She never forgot the bikers. In fact, she often ended her speeches with their story. How, on a sunny day at Santa Monica Pier, a sea of bikers had chosen to surround her, not with violence, but with love and protection. And so, to everyone listening right now, remember this: you may not have a motorcycle club behind you, but you have your voice. You have the choice to stand up when you see someone being torn down. Be the person who helps someone rise, not the one who kicks them when they're already on the ground. Kindness is stronger than cruelty. Compassion is louder than hate. And courage, the kind Emma showed every single day, is what truly changes the world. A call to action: if this story touched your heart, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever stood up for someone who needed help, or wished someone had stood up for you? I'd love to hear your experiences. And if you believe the world needs more kindness, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Be kind always. Together, we can create a community where no one is left to face their struggles alone. Because in the end, it's simple: be kind. Always.